Oh, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Beer Battered Sports Podcast, the podcast created by sports fans for sports fans, because we believe that we are the most qualified people to talk about our favorite teams. I'm your co-host Isaac,
And I'm Kylie.
and welcome to is this episode what? Episode 55? 56?
56.
56. All right. Yeah, 56 episodes. That is crazy. To think that just a year ago, it was just the two of us in our bedrooms, just randomly recording on Zoom, and then we've come so far. You may have noticed that Calvin's not with us right now. He is running a little late today. He had to take care of some personal business. So we are hoping that he's going to join us later. Um,
Yes. We're going to save the football talk for last for him.
yeah. So everyone who tuned in just to see me shit talk Kylie and see Kylie cry and moan because my team beat her team in the Super Bowl. Well, first off, we're not going to do that because I'm gracious in victory, and also I think that the Eagles played a better game. Um,
Yes, Mike, we are still in mourning. I would love an excused absence, but show must
hey,
go on.
legit, like nothing but good vibes to Philly. Y'all played an amazing game, but we'll talk about that later. Um, let's start by getting excited for what the next big sport. Now that the NFL season's officially over, guess what's up next?
MLB, because neither of our NBA teams are going to do anything in the offseason, in the postseason.
Oh yeah. MLB is back. I was thinking of NASCAR, but that's just me.
Of
But
course
anyway,
you would.
yeah, of course, I have to sneak it in every episode. Yeah, Major League Baseball is should be back soon. Spring training is how far away?
Pitchers and
You know?
catchers reporting today.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah. Okay, spring training begins today. Woohoo! I don't know why I forgot the date. Calvin just texted us. By the way, he's going to be on in 5 minutes. So we have 5 minutes to discuss the
Perfect.
MLB before we talk about Super Bowl.
Now
So we
he
have
wants to
five
talk about
minutes.
the MLB too, so we can continue the conversation even when he's gone.
Well,
So
Kylie, I'll ask you this: your Phillies are looking to be the potential favorites to win the National League now that they've stocked up in the offseason. At least they're my pick, my favorites to win it. What are you looking for in spring training?
Um, so for the Phillies specifically, I'm looking at our prospect Andrew Painter. He's the prospect that has the highest chance of making the opening day roster. Um, he's the number 5 prospect or number 8 prospect in all of MLB, and he's the number 1 pitching prospect. So, and he's only 19. So he's a very exciting prospect. And with the Phillies addition of Taiwan Walker, um, he has an opportunity to come up this year without feeling rushed. So that's very promising. I'm of course excited to see Trey Turner finally in a Phillies uniform. I'm excited for the midway point of the MLB season because that's when we get Bryce back, but that's way down the road. Um, but I've missed baseball, man. Like,
I
not
have
even
too.
just the special season the Phillies had, like, and maybe it's just because both of our teams had really long seasons. We both made the championship series. Um,
Well, one of us made it to the championship series. The other, was
Made it there, but didn't make an appearance.
one of them was their name only. So, um, I'm just excited for the Yankees to be back. I think last year, what really helped last year be such a good year to me was that I was finally able to get back into baseball. To watch the Yankees and then text my dad about the results and talk with him because I'm all about getting that connection. I'm all about that getting that family connection. And I love it that my dad and I are able to bond over that. Except for the one live game we went to, Yankees Orioles, where fans kept standing up in front of us, and I had to tell my dad, "It's like, look, I understand you're mad, but there's certain things you shouldn't say to people in public because no one wants." I love you, Dad. If you're listening, I love you. When we go to the Raptors Wizards game in March, yeah, remember, be be patient with people. They're stupid. Um, No, but I'm excited for the Yankees. I think Aaron Judge this year, now that he's paid, now that we've locked him down for 9 years, I think he's going to be on the warpath. I think now he's like, all right, let's get this city, what they deserve. I'm going to be excited to see who wins the big starting job for the Yankees. I'm curious if they're going to go with Garrett Cole or Nestor Cortez. I think they should go with Nestor. but that's just me. I want Nestor to win the Cy Young Award. I want him to go crazy this year. He was so good last year.
He was amazing last year. His personality is amazing too.
I'm curious to see if we still have Oswaldo on the Oswaldo. What was
Oswaldo Cabrera.
Oswaldo Cabrera? Yeah, the guy who came on late last season. I'm excited to see him. We still have him, right? We do. I've been so focused on football, I've kind of lost track of who the Yankees assigned. But I'm excited to see him because he looked amazing during the last few series of the regular season and the playoffs.
You got Rodon.
Yeah,
and you have Volpe coming up from the minors.
yeah, there's a lot of hype around the Yankees. The big question is, can anyone unseat the Astros in the American League?
Please do. I cannot stand them.
I'm excited to watch both the Mariners and the Orioles this year. They're both looking good, and I like the Orioles a lot. I know we play in the same division as them, but I respect them, and their ballpark is beautiful.
I don't think the Orioles didn't make any moves to move the needle forward at all. They signed Kyle Gibson, who is probably their opening day starter. I think. I know John Means had Tommy John surgery, so I don't think he's going to be the opening. I don't think he's going to start the season this year. But the Orioles, they missed the playoffs. They had a special and fun season for them. Nobody expected them to be in the playoff hunt, and they were.
Yeah.
So
I think they can make a run.
They can definitely make a run, but they didn't make moves to say that they were ready to make that jump. And Adley Rutschman is not a young prospect. While he is one of the best catchers in baseball, he's very obviously extremely good. I'm just saying, like, he's not, a super young prospect, and so they need to build. They need to make moves.
I hope they do. I enjoy going to Orioles games.
I do too. I love Camden Yards.
I think the Mariners are going to be the dark horse to possibly make a deep run in the AL.
Oh God, yeah, dude. Toronto had no business losing to them. They had an 8-run lead and blew it. My uncle and my cousin were they're Blue Jays fans, and they were literally planning a trip to Toronto to go watch an NLDS game during that 8-run lead game. So the Mariners had no business beating the Blue Jays, but both teams are going to be so much fun to watch. I'm excited for that.
Yeah, I'm excited too.
Year 2, Julio Rodriguez.
Ooh, yeah. He frightened me when we played them last year. He's too good.
He's very, very good.
Way too good.
Yeah, he was fun to watch. I think, I don't know. I'm trying to think of other teams that could compete. I mean, the NL East right now is just loaded. The Mets are always going to have a good regular season.
Guardians are going to be fun to watch. They have a young core.
And they got Josh Bell.
Yeah.
The Padres will be interesting.
I don't know. I'm kind of sick of the Padres.
Yeah, I am too. Believe me, they were kind of annoying in the NLCS.
Oh yeah, you guys still beat them. It's fun.
Yeah, that was a really fun series. But I think after that series, I don't know. It's just that World Series. I don't know. It felt like, I don't know. I hate the Astros.
I get you.
It's one thing to lose to a fan base that can win with, dignity and respect, and then you have the Astros.
Yeah. Well, I think we can move on now to we can talk about the NHL for a little bit while we wait for Calvin, because there wasn't really anything really going on in the NHL right now.
Yeah, we're heading into the All-Star break.
Well, they already had their All-Star break.
That's right. I was thinking, I don't know why the NBA is heading into the All-Star break. Yeah. My bad.
I mean, I'll say this right now, and looking at the standings, because I haven't checked the standings in a while. Remember, Super Bowl. I get focused on the Super Bowl. If my ESPN app will load. Gotta love living in the sticks and having Wi-Fi. Oh, here we go. So right now, Boston is still running away with everything. 48-5 is their record. 85 points.
That is ridiculous. That they are almost at 100 points already.
Yeah.
And it's just after the All-Star break. That is mind-blowing.
Yeah, we still have half a season to go. Worst team in the league right now is the Blue Jackets at 16, 34 and 4, 36 points. Wow, it's almost as if Johnny Hockey should have gone somewhere different.
Yeah, even it's always funny. No, stop it.
The Giants are the best. We're not even talking about that, bro. We recently found out who Defender of the North is. We're not going to reveal it for privacy's sake, but man, that was funny.
He's so mad we know too.
Keep tuning in,
buddy. And he's
buddy.
ignoring my text messages.
Keep tuning in, buddy. We appreciate you watching.
He keeps ignoring my text messages.
Yeah. I'm glad it's someone we know though, because if it was just some 13-year-old kid who actually thought the Giants were a good team, I would have had a problem with that.
The Giants are actually not a bad team.
No, they're not. They just need a good quarterback. I don't think they're going to keep. I don't think they're going to keep Danny Dimes around for this coming season. I think they're going to ship him off somewhere.
They are going to keep Danny Dimes, but we'll talk about that with the NFL.
Once Calvin jumps on. I'm just going to say it now. Midway through the season in hockey, I mean, looking at the playoff structure right now, Boston easily has got the Atlantic on lockdown.
Yeah,
the Metropolitan's still a three-way fight between Carolina, New Jersey, and the Rangers. You guys are 3 points back of Carolina for the division lead. You got this.
Yeah, we definitely have, an inside shot of getting it. The Hurricanes, we've proven that we can beat the Hurricanes, but the Hurricanes are mad good. So,
yeah. Well, looking at the playoff standings right now, if the playoffs were to start today, Washington would play Boston, which I think Boston would run a train on them.
Especially with Ovechkin being out for personal reasons, which, by the way, that was just announced yesterday. So he might have to go back to Russia, from what I heard.
How would that work? Because
exactly,
isn't Russia like doing some like highly anti-Geneva Convention things right now over in Eastern Europe? I don't know how much of.
I know.
I'm very curious on how that's going to work.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how that pans out.
It would be terrifying if Ovechkin goes there and then he can't leave, or if he gets it caught in a Brittany Griner situation where they they bust him for something completely like that shouldn't be a crime. I mean, seriously, like you can complain all you want about well, she should have followed the rules there, but at the end of the day, like, bruh, we shouldn't be. You shouldn't be putting people in labor camps for a minor offense. That's
they could. I don't think they'd use Ovechkin as a pawn, as a political pawn.
Especially because Ovechkin's actually kind of buddy with Putin, so that wouldn't be a situation. It's just something I feel like the fan base in general just looks at this like, he's got to go over there. It's like,
yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how that works out. But it's I swear to God, it's even funny because I know who it is.
What is it? What is it?
This Defender of the North comments just. But Dallas has a 2-point lead on Winnipeg for the West.
Yeah. Looking at the rest of the playoff states. So I mentioned, Washington would have to play Boston. Pittsburgh would have to play Carolina, which Pittsburgh's hanging in there, but I don't know how much longer the Penguins can be competitive because their core is getting old. I don't know how much longer Crosby has.
Not much.
I don't know. You guys would play the Rangers. Devils would play the Rangers. That would be a ugly series, and ugly I mean lots of fights. And then Tampa Bay would have to play Toronto in the first round again. Hey, there he is.
Hey, what's up, Calvin?
What's going on, guys? How you guys doing?
Pretty good. Everything okay on your end?
Yeah, we're good. We're good.
Excellent.
Good.
Well, we're taking a look at what the hockey playoff matchups would be if the season ended today, and then we're going to jump over to talk about the NFL. In the West, it would be Minnesota versus Dallas, Edmonton versus Vegas, Seattle versus the Kings, and Winnipeg versus Colorado. Colorado is finally starting to play like the defending Stanley Cup champions, but they also are just an incredibly disappointing team this year, as all their veteran players are disappointing, which kind of expected. But I mean,
Yeah.
just look at Tampa. They're second in their division. Colorado is third in their division and just barely above the wild card spot. Like literally, they're tied with Minnesota for the wild card spot. They have the tiebreaker on them. That's it. If they lose like 1 or 2 games, they're out.
Yeah. So hockey is chaotic right now, and I love it.
I'm going to be more on hockey now since the football season's over, but I haven't really been keeping up with it too much lately. But
I haven't really been able to watch much this year because I use the Stream East to watch most of my sports. And they dropped the NHL. They weren't able to get the NHL. So I literally all they have is basketball right now.
I love that.
That's
Yes.
fun stuff. Well, you got Kylie. Are you ready? Can you take it? Yep. All right. Let's talk about the NFL. So, Super Bowl 57. That's the kind of game that somebody unfortunately has to lose. That was one of the best Super Bowls I think I've ever seen. Just a great example of what happens when the two best teams of the NFL get to play each other, and it lives up to the hype. I'm not going to say it was the best ever because maybe a little too much score, not enough defense for me, but it was still awesome. Just two heavyweights just smacking each other. I would say Donna Kelsey, Travis and Jason's mom, called it perfectly. She said she wanted it to be the highest scoring Super Bowl of all time. It almost was. If the Eagles had tied the game at the end and we'd got to overtime, it would have been the highest scoring Super Bowl ever. But
that's amazing. Overall, though, like you said, Isaac, it was a great game from both sides. Both sides showed us a lot of firepower on those offenses. Chiefs defense snuck in a defensive touchdown in there.
Nick Bolton had a ridiculous game. If they had counted that second fumble return as a touchdown, he was going to win MVP.
Yeah.
I'll say this: the Chiefs honestly had a couple of calls gone their way, and the Chiefs had missed a certain field goal in the first half. Thanks a lot, Butker. The Chiefs probably would have won this game by multiple scores. They just had a bunch of calls get overturned and stuff go against them. That referee crew is the same crew that were reffing the Bucs Chiefs Super Bowl, and I'm convinced Carl Cheffers has something in on the Chiefs. But hey, at the end of the day, like Patrick Mahomes, I mean, is making a great case right now to be possibly the greatest quarterback of all time, not just of our lifetime. And before I say anything else, Kylie, the Eagles, I have nothing but praise for them. They played an amazing game. Jalen Hurts was responsible for 5 total touchdowns.
No, go ahead.
You have nothing to be ashamed of. The Eagles played amazing, you know.
Yeah, I was actually just going to get into Jalen Hurts and say he earned a little bit of respect from me.
He earned a ton of respect from me.
Yeah, the guy had 3 rushing touchdowns, which is absolutely insane. Over 300 passing yards. So, I mean, he earned my respect of taking the next level up from good to great. We're not at elite yet. We're at great right now. But what scares me is sometimes, like, Jalen Hurts is the type of guy, because in the back of my mind, I still feel and believe that he needs 5-star guys around him. What scares me is you take these 5-star guys away from him, and we never see Jalen Hurts in the Super Bowl again. And we've actually seen it multiple times with a lot of quarterbacks where they go to one Super Bowl and then they never make it back again. And I just hope that that's not the case for Jalen Hurts, because in this last game, like I said, he actually really impressed me a lot. And I was like, all right, maybe this guy isn't too bad. You know, He's got what it takes to be an NFL quarterback.
I don't think that this is a one and done for this Eagles team. I think that this Eagles team is this is going to be a case like the last Eagles team to make it to the Super Bowl, where they won it and then they struggled to even make it back. I think this Eagles team is going to be a juggernaut in the NFC. I've said it before, the NFC doesn't really have teams that just dominate because of how competitive it is, unlike the AFC where there's only like a handful of teams that are really in contention each year. The NFC is a lot more competitive, but I think this Eagles team could turn the tide and make the NFC more dynasty based because they're just that good. I mean, Howie Roseman is making the case for arguably the best GM of our lifetimes because the dude only one player who started on offense for the Eagles in the Super Bowl was from another team. That was A.J. Brown. Everyone else was drafted. The Chiefs, meanwhile, most of their players are from other teams. They built their team via free agency. The Eagles built their team from the ground up. This Eagles team is ridiculous. And I know they might lose some offensive linemen in the offseason due to retirement. But, I mean, Howie Roseman has proved let him cook, and he will cook. So, I will say, Kylie, the Eagles, they're going to be back. They are going to be back, and probably the Chiefs will be back too.
Linemen are like Howie Roseman's specialty somehow. I mean, Mailata was a 6th or 7th round pick. And he's our future lineman. I think Fletcher Cox is going to retire. I don't think Brandon Graham's going to retire. He's still got it in him.
I'm still here. I just had to turn off my camera for a sec.
Jason Kelce, he's still got it. I don't want him to retire, but it's possible he will. But we have A.J. Brown for at least 3 more years. We have Devontae Smith for
a while.
Yeah, so we have our core offense, and we're going to have a lot of our same defense. We're still going to have Slay. We have the possibility of keeping both C.J. Gardner-Johnson and James Bradberry. We would have to lose Miles Sanders, but he's a running back, so I'd be okay with it. So we're not losing too many people. It sucks we're going to lose Andre Dillard. He was one of my favorites, but he's not going to stay an Eagle. He's going to sign somewhere else. But the focus is on the 3 big names, Hurts, C.J. Gardner-Johnson, and James Bradberry. And I think we can keep all 3.
Yeah.
And those are the only 3 I care about. I know Hurts is staying, so I don't worry about that one. And I don't, and if we don't re-sign Miles Sanders, which would be fine with me because he's a running back, like that's fine.
He's also got Butterfingers.
Yeah, so sometimes he's not going to be the one to move the needle forward or backward. Running backs are coming in and out of the league. Like, I'm not worried about retaining Miles Sanders. So as much as I love him, if it's between keeping him or one of the other 2 corners, Sanders can see his way out the door somewhere else. It sucks that it's come to that, but it's just the truth. Running backs are running backs, and they're a dime a dozen.
You guys have a lot of good running backs too, and you mentioned James Bradberry.
Historically, we've had good running backs.
Yeah. And I just really want to quickly mention this about James Bradberry. So I know that the game kind of ended with that controversial call.
Oh yeah, Juju's a bitch.
Oh yeah, we'll talk about that in a sec too.
Stick to TikTok.
I have some feelings on that.
He's fraud.
Yeah, but I want to say this. So, James, the game ends with that controversial call. Was it a hold? Was it not a hold? And a lot of analysts and a lot of, I like to call them NFL influencers, like, guys on the internet who are active. A lot of people are saying, that wasn't a hold and it ruined the end of the game. And, the game was rigged and it was scripted and everybody knew what was going to happen. And I'm just sitting here like this. James Bradberry and the rest of the Eagles have been so humble in defeat. James Bradberry literally comes out and was like, yeah, I held him. It wasn't a big hold, but I still held him. And the ref saw it and it was the right call. James is like, y'all need to be quiet. Like, we made a mistake. Like, one call did not impact this game. there have been times in the past in the NFL where a single call has impacted a game. A great example, 2018 NFC Championship game. If they actually call pass interference like they should, the Saints would have made the Super Bowl most likely, you know. But this game was not impacted by one call.
Yeah.
The Eagles defense just didn't make any adjustments, and the Chiefs were able to pick them apart in the second half because they adjusted. By the way, have fun, Cardinals, with Jonathan Gannon.
Yeah.
A bunch of idiots. Any other team, sees the guy they're courting for their head coach, give up 38 points in the Super Bowl and make no adjustments, and immediately are like, yeah, we're going to look elsewhere. And the Cardinals are just like, hey, that's our guy. To a defense that had no sacks and no interceptions and no turnover, didn't even force any turnovers in that game. That's ridiculous. But yeah, I'm so sick and tired of people claiming the NFL is rigged and like talking about how this shit is rigged. Can the refs be biased against one team and make calls that favor another team? Yeah, we've seen it in the past. Did a call impact this game? No. One call was not responsible for this game ending the way it did. It was a little lackluster, but it wasn't like, it didn't ruin the game. And if it did, I think you're just looking for an excuse to be negative about something.
Yeah, absolutely. And I've said this the whole 3 days after the Super Bowl. Like, you can't blame the refs for this loss. We were still in the game the entire time. We had opportunities. The defense just did not do their job at all.
Yeah.
Gannon was god awful, and I am so thankful that the Cardinals were stupid enough to keep him in their stadium. While I am aware that Patrick Mahomes is one of the best at halftime adjustments, like not forcing a turnover, not being effective. I know the field was shit, but both teams had to play on that field.
Yeah, that's another thing too. Like, I think if you want to blame that turf, we're lucky that turf didn't have as big of an impact as it could have had, because the amount of players who were slipping, like that was. The NFL has had the same groundskeeper for every single Super Bowl. The guy's like in his 90s now. I think it's time for him to retire, because that was not that turf was not ready for this game.
No, not at all. And we're lucky that neither of our teams had ACL tears.
Yeah, I've been having ACL problems for the last couple of months myself, and like, I understand. I get how bad an ACL tear can be. I haven't torn it, by the way. It's been wrenched around a bit because I put my leg in weird positions sometimes when I'm sitting. But man, like, this game, this was an awesome game from start to finish, and. Yeah, hey, Ian. Hey, quick tangent. Halftime show. Rihanna.
I love Rihanna.
Rihanna was making me feel myself. I know it was a little more mute than halftime shows in the past, but I think that's because Rihanna basically was like, "Listen. I could, even when I'm pregnant, I can still go out here and rock everybody." The one thing I will say is the second that they started playing All of the Lights, I had this sinking feeling. I'm like, she's not going to bring out Kanye, right? She's not going to bring out Kanye. Please do not bring him out. And I was, thank God. But yeah, no, that was halftime show was great. Commercials were a little lackluster. There weren't as many strong ones. They brought back the M&Ms. They brought back the M&M spokes candies. They overturned it. They decided they decided to get that Maya Rudolph was just a joke, and instead they're going to stick with the candies. I love it.
Yeah, because M&Ms are not sexy.
Yeah, they aren't. And if you think that M&Ms are sexy, you have a problem.
So now it's the NFL offseason. Our three teams are making moves. Calvin, Washington's probably going to get Bieniemy. And my theory on that is if Washington doesn't do anything this next season, Rivera's gone and Bieniemy's going to come up. That's 100%. How I think it's going to work.
Yeah, I mean, I have no idea why, but we interviewed dumbass Greg Roman yesterday.
Oh, no.
Dude, Greg Roman is so bad.
The worst offensive coordinator I've seen in years. Like, this guy couldn't do anything with the electrifying Lamar Jackson. You think he's going to do something with Sam Howell? Be real.
Right.
So hopefully we don't go the Greg Roman route, because his offense is so basic and it's stupid. I
Yeah.
want that. I pray we get Bieniemy. It'll open it up a little bit. It'll also give people a shot to see Bieniemy like calling the offense by itself, because we know Andy Reid still has his nose and
Oh
plays
yeah.
called and stuff like that. Rivera being more of a defensive guy, he wouldn't really have too much say in what Bieniemy's calling. So it'll give us a shot to see Bieniemy as a real offensive coordinator, as well as, like you said, if we don't do anything this year, it's probably going to give him the driver's seat of the team in general and make him the head coach. But we'll see. I hope we get Bieniemy. I truly hope we pick him over Greg Roman.
As an Eagles fan, I hope you get Greg Roman. But as a real, like, as your friend and as someone that can't stand incompetency, like, get Bieniemy.
Yeah.
Obviously, that's gonna make, if he goes to Washington, that's gonna be the third coordinator of 4 in the Super Bowl this past year to leave the team, because Shane Steichen's in Indy now.
I don't know how that's going to end up.
It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. I think Indy had this past season has really learned their lesson, and I think they're going to take advantage of that 4th overall pick and try to potentially move up, because I know damn well CJ Stroud is not falling past 2. So they're going to have to trade for the 1st overall pick, and the Bears are going to have a lot of teams trying to get that 1st overall pick, and it's going to be a bidding war. So the draft is going to be extremely fun. I'm excited for it.
Real quick question: where do you guys think Derek Carr is going to go?
That was I posted on Twitter.
I'm curious what people
Through our
said.
Twitter.
Let me take a look at what people said.
I got it.
I personally really want him to come to the Bucks. Right now, our starting quarterback for next year would most likely be Blaine Gabbert, which God help me. But I mean, hey, he could. Kyle Trask is still in development.
Shit.
What?
Isaac, be prepared for this.
Oh no.
Right-hander Frankie Montas, the biggest acquisition for the Yankees at the trade deadline last year, who is expected to be a part of their rotation this year,
What happened?
will undergo shoulder surgery on Tuesday that could cause him to miss the season.
Why? Why do bad things happen to deserving people?
The Yankees deserving it is extremely debatable.
We haven't won a World Series since 2009. We deserve something.
We're not going to talk about the 2009 World Series. If you could please. But let's say someone said Panthers. That could be interesting.
Maybe. I know Baker Mayfield is up for consideration for the Bucks too, which I would like to see Baker get another chance.
Yeah, I would too. But I don't think he will. He hasn't. I don't know.
I have no words.
I don't know what's going to. Yeah, I don't know what's going to happen with Baker. I don't know what's going to happen with Wentz. I don't know what's going to happen with. I mean, Carr. The Raiders kind of screwed Carr.
They really did. He's given so much to that franchise that they basically just said, "Yeah, fuck off."
Yeah, absolutely. So I don't know where he's gonna go. I heard the Saints were in on him, and I thought Falcons. But it was the Saints and somebody else that were in on him.
I hope he doesn't come to Washington. I mean, I know we've said that we're running with Sam Howell, but we've said a lot of shit in the past and done differently. So I pray that he doesn't come to Washington because he's not that guy. I don't care what Vegas did to him, how Vegas threw him out or anything of that nature. I understand exactly why they did that because that guy, he's one of those guys that he's all right. You know, he's there. He's all right, but there's nothing spectacular about the guy. Like, nothing. I don't care what offense you put him in. There's nothing spectacular about that guy. This man had Devontae Adams, and Mac Hollins was his most targeted receiver. So that's all I need to know about the guy.
Yeah. Mac Hollins was his most targeted?
Mac Hollins was his.
That's crazy.
Yes.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so I hope he stays over there, and you guys can definitely have him over there in Tampa Bay. That's no problem with me.
I think that's the other team. It was the Saints in Tampa. Maybe? Shit, I don't remember anymore.
Yeah, he can stay over there in Tampa. He can go over there to Tampa Bay. It's a good fit for him.
I'm not going to be against it.
Yeah, you'll be against it when your team's 8-8.
Yeah, I just stick to being a full-time Chiefs fan.
Because the thing is,
it's up in the air.
I'm actually not too sold on Sam Howell yet. You know, the guy's only played one game, but
right.
I'd rather run with a guy who we maybe are going to build this franchise around than a guy that's already been at a franchise for 6+ years and he didn't do shit. So now he's going to come to our franchise and not do shit. And then we're just going to continue to be scripted as the worst franchise in NFL history because every year we just don't do shit.
Yeah. It's the Panthers, by the way. The Panthers and the Saints are the two teams named. But we'll see. I still think the Falcons will take a look at him. So it's not like anybody's going to have to trade for him. So literally any team that's looking for a bridge quarterback can get him. Same with Baker or Wentz. But Carr is obviously the best option of them all. And I mean, I love Carr as a person. As a quarterback, he's okay. We talked about the elite, the very good, the mid, the below average, and then just crap. I would put Carr at mid.
Yep.
Well, as my favorite sports writer John Boyce once said, can you name your 27th favorite quarterback? Yes, you can. It's Derek Carr. He was making a comparison between Army generals and NFL players, and he said, you ask somebody who their favorite military engagement is, and they'll probably have to sit and think, and I don't know. But if you ask them who your 27th favorite quarterback is, they'll be like, oh yeah, that's easy. It's Derek Carr. I think he's better than most people give him credit for. I think the problem has been that he was stuck on a garbage organization. That's the Raiders.
Mm-hmm.
He had the best receiver in the league last year on his team and didn't target him more than Mac Hollins.
Is that on him though, or is that on the coaching? Because you got to remember that they've got a train wreck Josh McDaniels
Adams
as the
said himself, I don't care if I have 3 guys on me. You have to give me a chance. Just like Aaron Rodgers did. Aaron Rodgers always gave Devontae a chance. It didn't matter if there was 3 guys on him, 4 guys on him, anything. That is exactly why Devontae Adams gave his pitch to Aaron Rodgers about coming to Vegas. Because he knows that guy is going to give him a chance no matter what. Doesn't matter if he's quadruple team. He's going to get a chance. So, Derek Carr, and this is the thing. It doesn't matter about the play call that's being called. You are the quarterback. You have the decision to throw the goddamn ball wherever the goddamn shit you want to throw the ball to.
Yeah.
So it just doesn't make sense to me how you target Mac Hollins more than you're targeting the best receiver in the league. And it's not like I'm just putting that stamp on him being the best receiver in the league. The other best receivers in the league have stamped the guy as the best receiver in the league. So
AJ Brown.
I just heard Debo Samuel say it the other day.
Debo's a bitch. So
all these guys, Debo's a ball player though.
yeah, he's a bitch.
Yeah, he may be a bitch, but he's a ball player. So,
Speaking of bitches, can we quickly talk about Juju Smith-Schuster?
Yeah, Juju's a bitch. Stick to TikTok.
He had actually a really good game in the Super Bowl. I'll have to look up the stats, but it's like all the Chiefs players are like so humble in victory. Like, yeah, we won, but Patrick Mahomes is out here like, yeah, Jalen Hurts played a better game with me. Travis Kelce and Jason are like embracing after the game. Travis is like, thank you for the best year of my life. That was so much fun. And it's like, yeah, this is great. And Juju just has to go on Twitter and like, it's like,
and completely ruin it.
He actually really didn't have a great game if you think about it. He had 7 catches for 53 yards, and 5 of those catches came in the fourth quarter, I believe.
Yeah, those are clutch as shit.
Yeah, those were some clutch ass catches though. But the whole performance of the Chiefs was just clutch.
Shut up.
Kylie, it's okay. You guys played well.
I know.
Jalen Hurts had the best performance by quarterback in Super Bowl history, in my opinion.
No, that was Tom Brady against us in 2017. Dude had almost 500 yards.
By the way, I just want to say this out. The Eagles' quarterback sneak play is the most OP thing I've ever seen, and I'm terrified of it.
Yeah, can we talk about the people mentioning banning it? You know what's going to happen.
No, it's not. They're not going to ban that play. That play's been used forever.
They're talking about it now because we exposed it. We made it unstoppable.
But that's the thing. It only works if you have the best, the perfect combination of players. Not every team does.
Not every quarterback can squat 600 pounds like Hurts can. Yeah, he can squat 600 pounds. Yeah.
I gotta go to the gym more, bro. Damn. No, dude, with stuff like Kenny Pickett's fake slide in that in ACC championship game. Yeah, you could ban that because that's actually like dangerous, you know. But stuff like this, where not every team can do it and only a few teams can pull that off, don't ban that. That's part of the game. That's literally back in the beginning of football. That was the only way to move the ball, was to do that.
Richard Sherman's okay with getting rid of it, which kind of pissed me off to see this.
Well, Richard Sherman is, man. How many of these players have had their brains, damaged by CTE? Because no football player is gonna look at that move and be like, yeah, we should ban that. You look at that and be like, damn, that's OP. I wish my favorite team could get some big linemen in there so we could pull off that move too, because it's just so good. That might have been a bit untasteful, distasteful, but you get my point. It's like, why are so many people? If you're a former player, you shouldn't be advocating that they ban this. You should be advocating other teams figure out how to do it.
Yeah, I mean, it's coming, so stop it.
Yeah. I mean, dude, teams that run the ball exclusively in college, like Army, Navy, Air Force, all the service academies, when they run the triple option, that's the coolest thing. Just seeing them all huddled together in the line of scrimmage and just pushing it forward, and every so often someone breaks forward. That's an awesome move.
Yeah. And I mean, I don't know. It's ridiculous. You know it's coming, so
you know it's coming, but you can't stop it.
Yeah, it's inevitable. So it's I don't know. It's ridiculous that people are gonna go to that extent and try to complain about it like that when it's just a good play.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, is any of your family at the parade right now?
I'm sure some people on my mom's side are there, but I don't know for certain.
I had a hotel booked and everything on Broad Street for just in case.
Sorry, Kylie. You guys.
My dad was so confident. He was like, "No, you guys are gonna win." And I was like, "Relax, it's Mahomes. Don't." He would get mad at me when I would say if we win. He would say no when you win. No, relax. Also, my dad is the biggest Cowboys hater I've ever seen, and he's a Cowboys fan. He sends them emails every time they lose. saying get rid of Zeke, get rid of McCarthy, and get rid of Prescott. Which he's a casual, but he's got the right motive.
Yeah.
I love it.
Man,
Um,
I saw this weird ass video about people who have flat heads as a kid, and now I'm like paranoid and feeling the back of my head to see if it's flat. Is the back of my head flat? Be honest.
no, but your brain is smooth.
Fuck you. You know what? I am proud to be a smooth brain.
Yeah, I can tell. Weirdo.
I'm not weird. You're weird.
You're also weird. So, the draft's coming up. It's very exciting. I cannot wait to see what the Bears do. But let's move on to the NBA. The All-Star break is happening, I think, after today.
Yeah,
Today
we
is
had
the-
a. Yeah, we also had the trade deadline with a couple of big trades. We'd already talked about Kyrie going to the Mavericks last week.
I forgot one thing for the NFL.
What?
My bad. Calvin Ridley has filed for reinstatement.
Oh, good for him. Hopefully he gets in.
We'll see.
Oh no, he'll definitely play. He's better than any of those receivers on the Jaguars. He's better than Christian Kirk. He's better than Zay Jones. He's better than Marvin Jones. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it.
Yeah, but will the NFL let him?
They
Why?
better.
They better let him play. You're sponsored by sports betting, so like, come on.
They're sponsored by 5 major sports betting companies. There's no
Yep.
reason they don't let that guy back in.
DraftKings, FanDuel, MGM,
Caesar Sportsbook,
Caesar.
Excuse
and
me.
the points bet thing.
Yeah. Like, come on. How are you going to promote it and then, like, Calvin Ridley wasn't even betting on football.
No, I think he did drop $1,000 on the Falcons.
Of course he did. But the NBA is at its All-Star break, and I don't know what do you guys think has been the most disappointing part of the season so far?
The Lakers, with how good LeBron's been playing, the fact that they aren't even getting contention for the playoffs at the moment is just sad.
No, they are. The West is just so good.
Yeah, especially now with KD being traded to the Suns. Like, while I was sleeping, by the way, it was 1:30 in the morning when the news broke.
Yeah, I wanted. Yeah, I didn't even notice that was news until I got into work and was just checking my phone before I got settled into work. It was like, what? Kevin's going to the Suns? I see that as an all-in push by the Suns. I think they've realized that the core that they've got is like, you know what, this core, we only have a few more years for them to all be in their primes together. Let's go all out, get Kevin, and try and actually push for a title. I would not be opposed to the Suns finally getting back and finally getting a championship because they've come so close so many years with so many good teams.
Yeah. The West in general is just stacked, though. I think it's like 4 games that separate the 4th seed and the 13th seed. So it's like if those lower seeds get on a run and those higher seeds lose 2 straight, then they switch spots just like that. So that just shows you how stacked the West really is.
Yeah, the West is loaded.
But
The Nuggets are now a play-in team, so
now I agree with Isaac though. The biggest disappointment has probably been the Lakers. How good LeBron's been playing, and at 38 years old, and he still has to be the guy on his team.
I don't see how they're the most disappointing when they're the exact same team as last year. Like nothing has changed. Now they've made moves.
Well,
So
you expect. I think it's just expected for
I think it was more so hope that Russell Westbrook was just a fluke season last year.
I've said it from the beginning. I'll say it again. You know, his personality just doesn't gel with LeBron's. Simple as that.
Yeah, and I mean, you saw the first game they had with the new core. They came out and won. I think they took a tough loss last night, but I feel as if when LeBron does come back and with this new group here together that they have, they can make a nice run because, like I said, it's only 4 games that separate that 4th seed and the 13th seed. They just need one run, so
Yeah.
Hopefully this new team can mesh and gel together. But I think they're the biggest disappointment, Kylie, because even though they were the same team to start the season, I think that people just expect LeBron-made teams to be good.
Yeah, that's definitely true.
So it's just like it's a little disappointing that they're 13th in the West or whatever they are, because like, damn, dude, you have LeBron. What are y'all doing?
Yeah. He's it's crazy that he's 38 and it's he shouldn't have to drop 30 points a game.
Yeah.
But the fact that he's able to do it.
And I think what else disappoints me about that team is Anthony Davis was so upset that night LeBron broke the record because they didn't get the win.
Yeah.
Bullshitting the last 5 games. Like, literally, like, the other night he put up 13 points against Drew Eubanks, or however the hell you say his last name.
I think it's Eubanks.
Come on, be realistic right now, Anthony Davis. You're upset because your team didn't win the night that this historic shit happened, but you've been shit for, and even in that game, he was shit. He didn't play good in that game at all. So I think that's another disappointment as well, is Anthony Davis, you know. And then he gets on his private shit, deactivates his Instagram and all that, this, that, and the third. But literally in the last 4 games, he's shot 8 for 18, 5 for 19, 9 for 22. And the night LeBron broke the record, he only took 9 shots. But you're sitting there on the bench disappointed that you guys aren't winning, but you took 9 shots.
Yeah, I feel like you don't get the right to be disappointed. You don't get the right to bitch and moan if you're the one who's. Well, I mean, you can complain, but you got to get better. You got to be the one to put in the work and actually change.
If you're not doing anything that's helping this team, why are you complaining about what the rest of the team is doing?
Exactly.
And at that time, they were celebrating their teammate breaking the record that hasn't been broken for 38 years.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I understand you guys are losing, but like I said, you weren't even playing good that game. You had 13 points in that game. So you can be so upset that you can be upset that people are cheering and this, that, and the third, but you should have taken a moment to step away from that whatever for you had going on in your head for a second and cheered your teammate on as well.
Absolutely.
I mean, yeah, I understand him and Bron's connection. They love each other and they have a great friendship and shit like that. But it was like, to the outside looking in, you know, anybody that doesn't know their relationship or anything of that nature, or you know, didn't know that Anthony Davis was upset about losing, they're looking at that as like, damn, this dude's a hater. Like,
yeah,
damn near your best friend just broke the record that hasn't been broken in NBA history in 38, almost 40 years, and you're just on the sideline with this angry ass face because y'all quote unquote didn't win, but you only put up 13 points.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
And then that's the thing. We all know Bron needed 36 points that night to break that record. The man goes out and scores 38 points. You're upset that you lost, but you didn't contribute. He had 38. You had 13. What are you really upset about? You should be upset at yourself that you didn't put in any work to help.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not even a LeBron fan, but I was all sorts of hyped when he was. I was watching the game. I was super excited. I was happy for LeBron. Like, that is a record that I do not know if we will be able to see in our lifetime get broken.
Yeah.
I mean, it's always possible with the 3-point shooting becoming more and more of a thing, but You have to average like over 30 points a game for almost 20 years for you to break that record. So,
Like you said, I don't think we'll see it broken. Maybe our kids or our grandkids will see it broken or something like that. But
yeah,
I don't think we're gonna see this record broken.
no. And, I'm okay with it not being broken.
Yeah, me too.
Because LeBron could realistically get 40,000 when all said and done. He's could very easily get to 40,000. I mean, if he wants to wait till Bronny can get on the court, like, I don't know. It was a bad look by AD for sure. But going into the All-Star break, the standings are a little crazy. So, it's if the playoffs were to start today, the Raptors and the Wizards would play each other for the 8th seed, would play each other, and then the winner of that game plays the loser of the Knicks and the Hawks, and then the winner of that game gets the 8th seed. So they would play Boston. The winner of New York and Atlanta would play Milwaukee. The Sixers would play Miami, Isaac, and the Cavs would play Brooklyn.
We just can't escape each other, huh, Kylie?
No, we can't. Dude, yeah. That's this, like, we had the Eastern Conference semifinals last year, the Super Bowl this year. We might have a playoff matchup this year. Like, can't escape you. Like Little Man with Cedric Mullins, I can't escape him. Which, by the way, Little Man has great content, so sure, I'll check him out. The West, which is definitely going to change. But if it started right now, the Pelicans would play the Timberwolves in the play-in, and the winner of that game would play the Grizzlies. The Warriors would play the Jazz. The winner of that game would play the loser of the Pelicans and the Timberwolves. And then the winner of that game would play the Nuggets.
Mm-hmm.
Upset alert there. The Kings would play the Mavericks. And the Suns would play the Clippers. Now, at the halfway point, who's your finals prediction?
Give me a sec. Let me think this through. I want to.
Mine is Phoenix and Milwaukee.
God, the West is so weird.
Yeah.
Why is Sacramento good? That makes no sense. I'm going to go with Denver versus Milwaukee.
Easy win for Milwaukee.
Yeah, Milwaukee, I think, is winning it all. What, they won 11 straight?
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
Who's your MVP picks?
We'll go with Luka Doncic.
Luka?
I say Luka wins it. Actually, Luka. Yeah, Luka.
What about you, Calvin? Finals and MVP.
My bias pick for the West is the Lakers. I want to see the Lakers, but
realistic.
Yeah, if I'm being realistic, I like the Celtics and either Memphis or Phoenix.
Those are good picks. I like that.
I don't think Memphis is strong enough to get out of the West right now. Well, the West just got loaded.
Yeah. I mean, the Kings are clinging on to third right now, but that's not going to last.
No. They should have done something at the trade deadline to solidify their standing, but they didn't. Who's your MVP?
Either Luka or Tatum.
I'm going Luka.
Good picks, both of you. Good picks. Well, guys, that's gonna do it for us today. You guys, thank you for tuning in once again to the Beer Battered Sports Podcast. Proud affiliate, by the way, of Fired Up Sports Network. Check out all of their shows. They have some really good ones. You guys should definitely tune into. You can follow us on all of our socials at @BB_pod. Check out our Twitter bio for our merch. Winter's almost over. You can cop yourself some nice shirts for summer. They're really comfortable. Interact with us on all of our social media platforms. We love to hear from you guys. With that, we will see you guys next week for episode 57. Peace.
Peace.